I just want to make sure I'm crystal clear about this. What you will never, ever, ever hear from me is me stop saying that if you or a loved one is dealing with anxiety, depression, addiction, or any other situation,
Mama
please reach
told
out to someone.
me when I was young, said sit beside me and listen closely to what I say. And if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. I
Hi, I'm Jeff Sykes. The show is called The
will.
Manuscript, and this is Jeff Sykes Motivation. So, this particular episode, this is episode 6. This is the final part of the Prison Break series. In this particular episode, I was talking with one of my brothers, Simpson to be exact. It was maybe a few weeks ago, and we were talking about frequency as far as how it is that what is the channel in which you personally hear the universe broadcasting to you. And so he was telling me, he was reminding me, he said, man, bro, moving forward, I can't let anybody else change my channel for me. And he was also saying to me, reminding me as far as of the importance of just having that daily gratitude. And when I heard him say it to me, I was like, bro, yeah, you're onto something, and I think that this right here would be the best way to conclude the Prison Break series because I've spoken on the the low points where I was during when I was in my own prison, but I really didn't. Again, I didn't really say what got me through what I was dealing with and what got me out of and out into where I am right now, where I feel comfortable with telling what's happened to me and what I've been through in hopes that maybe somebody can benefit from it. But I could not get through into where I am right now without what I'm going to speak on in this particular episode. And like I said again, this is episode 6. I wanted to call it OG. At first I was thinking about calling it Triple G, but I've decided with OG because OG is only God, only grace, only gratitude, only glory. OG. So, also talking with Simpson the other day, we were joking about as far as with the musical project that I'm in the process of putting out, and I want to say up front as far as when this episode started, I had wanted to say sometimes what things appear to be is not really what it is. And my first release is In the Blue Dress, and it would seem as if, and it sounds as if I'm celebrating what was going on in my life. And truthfully, to be honest with you, in the moment of, I was celebrating what was going on in my life because my life was in such a insane state that doing things I was speaking up inside that particular song at the time did seem exciting to me. What I did not later realize, which I eventually came to realize, is that what's being spoken about in the songs that I'm going to release is what it is I'm talking to you guys about right now. So in my addiction, all of it was not bad times. Some of the stuff was like, wow, you really got to see this shit to believe it. And so with it, some of the stuff being exciting, I wanted to go back, as they say, I want to go back and find that first original high, or that really, really, really good high. So I was chasing, trying to find what was to be my oasis, only to find out in the end that it was not. Period. It was not doing for me what my hurt and what my damage and everything was saying that it was doing for me. And that's just it just is what it is. So I want to say first, let me start with only grace. I definitely want to start with only grace because when I really sit back and I really look at it as what it really truly is, I have to say to you that everything the universe has done for me was something that I know for a fact I could not have done on my own. It just is impossible. And there's going to be a project that there's going to be a song I'm going to eventually put out, and that's going to be in Act 4. That is going to be called The Ballad of the Universe. And this is one of those, excuse me, it's one of my moments where I was at one of my lowest points. And I won't reveal everything that's going to be done in the song because, yeah, because I just won't. But one of the things I remember the universe saying to me, I remember God saying to me, is it's always dark before there's daylight. And so, excuse me, God also said to me, I'm not going to leave you, but I'm not going to stop you from leaving me. And I remember how upset I was because it was like, oh, you're supposed to love me, period. You're never supposed to leave. But love is a two-way street. He didn't leave me. I left because I got in my emotions, I got in my feelings, thinking that God had left me, and that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. And so I want to share a story from when I was younger because, as everyone knows, I am incredibly emotional. I wear my emotions. I wear my emotions in manners in which no one I've ever known is more emotional than I am. No one is. I'm not gonna say no one in the world is, but I'm saying no one that I've ever been close friends with can say that they're more emotional than I am, or more over emotional than I am. One of these days, I'll have to get Kelly or Biff to come up here and tell you and to tell you some of these stories that's something when I think back to it, it's hilarious. But they'd have to tell you from an older angle because they were definitely Kelly. Kelly was more the catalyst in some of my emotional stuff than anybody else was. But it was definitely when I was younger. I want to say fall was a baby maybe even. But so we were living in Shaw Apartments at the time, and so mom had us listening to all different kinds of music and everything like that. You know, just everything across the spectrum. I think I even had Lily at one time listening to Disco Duck. I can't remember, but in any case, I want to say it was Ronnie Millsap was on. I ain't gonna stand for this. And before I realized, Kelly had me damn near about to call 911 to tell them to come get my eyes to give them to a blind kid. I'm trying to tell you. So yeah, so it was those type things. Another funny was we were watching Mid Atlantic Wrestling. That's way before Four Horsemen. That's way before all of that. And I want to say the wrestler, Mr. Wrestling, had gotten jumped. The goons had gotten him, and I thought he had gotten sent to Wake Med. So I made my mom call Wake Med to make sure that he was okay because otherwise we were going up to support Mr. Wrestling. So I'm saying all this to you guys because as intense as my love and my caring was, that I that I was about to tell my mom and make my mom get in the car. I want to say we were in Halifax at the time, but I was about to make my mom get in the car, and we were going to check on this wrestler, only to find out later on in life the motherfucker wasn't even hurt. But that was the portrayal of. So my emotions ran so deep and so intense that I wanted to take my eyes out as a little kid to give to somebody who couldn't see. So if you can imagine how intense those emotions were for caring for somebody, imagine how intense those emotions were when I felt hurt or when I felt that something didn't care for me. And so my extremes took me to places that I'll eventually talk about later on, but this isn't the time, this isn't the episode for some of that. But there's moments in my addiction and my hurt and everything like that where I speak on different things as far as being on the floor and so on and so forth, those type things. But it had gotten to a point in my life that when I said to you that God had said to me that He was not going to stop me from leaving Him, I got so mad I cussed God all kinds of stuff, even to the point that I was like, man, I will never ever get on my knees and pray or beg for shit. I don't give a fuck who it is. Fuck that. And that's what I had convinced myself of, that I didn't need God. If you were gonna take something so important from me and from my family, which was my grandfather, then fuck you, God. Fuck you. I felt that the family needed Pop far more than anyone could ever need me. So, and I'll explain to you in just a little bit as far as why I cry so much now. And it's really not as bad as you think it is. It's beautiful to me now. But I thought God had forsaken me by letting me live, because I was so hurt and so broken that I was begging to die. Even as far as, like I said, in my addiction, those were things that kept coming and going inside my mind, inside my spirit, inside all of me. That's where I was, and there were times that I would be sitting there inside of wherever the situation was that I was smoking, I was getting high. And even sometimes when I was hiding by myself getting high, that as I would get ready to take a hit, I would ask God, please let this be the last one. Please let this be the one that kills me. Please do not let me wake up tomorrow morning. And I thought that I was being tortured every time I get up and I see the next morning. I really thought I was being tortured. And my will had to be broken. My will had to be broken. And it's because of His grace that my will was broken. And let me tell you what's crazy about all of it. What's crazy about all of it is that it was His grace that did that got me through all of it. And it's because of His grace that I have the gratitude to be able to sit here and tell you guys that when you're out of your addiction and you're out of your hurt and you start to believe in the universe again, let me tell you, the grass really is green on the other side. It really is. And so I have to wake up each day with that sense of gratitude, because there's somebody out there that's in that addiction right now, in that hurt right now, that doesn't have anybody to talk to. So reach out and talk to someone. And as far as for glory, guys, stand up, give Him His motherfucking glory, because without Him, I know I couldn't be here. I don't know about your situation. I know I couldn't be here. So I've got to give Him His glory. I'm Jeff Sykes. The show is called The Manuscript, and this is Jeff Sykes Motivation. Thank you.
Don't live too fast. Troubles will come, and they will pass. You'll find a
Hey, Mom, Kelly's friend Jen that I told you I was going to marry, I married her.
and you'll find love. And don't
And I
forget
promise you,
that there
I
is
will
a
make things right between me
someone
and Jane. I promise you.